Well, hi everyone. Welcome along to today's webinar. My name is Roshni and I'm part of the customer team here at SuiteFiles. And today I'm going to be taking you through the new PDF annotator that we've just launched in the SuiteFiles web app. So I am recording this session, so I'll send it across to you after today's session has taken place, and you can watch this back as well. But hopefully it's going to be a really quick webinar today, just a little demonstration of the types of functionality you have available to you to mark up your PDFs in SuiteFiles. So before we get started, if you do have any questions as we go through, just pop them into the Q&A section, which you can hopefully see in the webinar panel, just in Zoom there, and I will answer those towards the end of the session. But ask at any stage, and we'll get to those at the end. Now, hopefully you guys can see my screen okay and can hear me okay. I'll go ahead and just dive straight into marking up a PDF in SuiteFiles. So to mark up something, you can navigate in SuiteFiles or look up the PDF that you want to make some annotations to, and just click on the document in SuiteFiles here. And you'll notice that when you load this PDF, it's now got an annotate button in the top right corner. So if you click on that, then that's going to unlock all of the functionality there. So that will give you these options here. So these four are what we're going to go through in a little bit more detail today. So I'm just going to step through them and show you what they all do. So if you click on this drawing tool here, click it once. When it is blue, then you'll know that it's enabled. And by default, that text is going to be set to blue here. And you can just start scribbling on your document. You might be a little bit more polished than what I am, but you can also change the color of the scribble. So if you want to circle something, for example, you can do that in the color of your choice. There are quite a few other features or functions available. So just have a bit of a play. This, for example, will give you a nice filled block. This is not to be used, or this is not what you do to retract, or no, what's it called? Redact, sorry, redact information. It's not a proper redaction tool. We are exploring other features and functionality that we will be introducing in future, and we'll let everyone know when that will be available and what plans that will be available on in future. You can change the opacity of those drawings. So for example, now that I've changed that, then that has a little bit of a see-through look to it. And you can also, if we go back to just the sort of drawing tool, you can also change the width of that as well. So if you wanted to remove one of those tools that one of those annotations that you've just added to your document, then what you do is just click on the icon again, and that will just remove it. So it'll take you off drawing mode, and then you can select the annotation. So for example, if you just hover over that and click, then you've got the trash icon in the top right corner of your screen. So you can click on that and then press the delete button. If you're more into keyboard shortcuts, then click on the annotation, then hit delete on your keyboard, press tab to ensure that the delete option is selected, and then you can just press enter, and that will also remove it from the document. So again, delete on your keyboard, and then you can just click delete if you want to as well. So I'll remove those little scribbles. The other options that you have from this drop-down is you've got a freeform highlight. So if we select that, you can see that we've got the ability to highlight big chunks of information. You can again change the color of the highlighter, and it's really just a way to highlight the text or a big block of text that you want to. If you want a little bit more precision on your highlighting, then you can use the text highlighter. So again, your formatting options will appear here. So at the moment it's defaulted, and you just use the selection tool and highlight the text that way. Again, to remove those, you can just select that option and delete. We'll keep one of those, we'll keep some of them highlighted. And the final option here is the eraser. So you can change the width of the eraser, make it really nice and chunky to get rid of heaps of it. So you can do that. But again, you can still select blocks and delete them to remove those annotations from your PDFs. Another really handy feature is going to be these notes. So they are, if you click on the note there, they are going to allow you to add comments to your document. So it's ideal for if you want to write a longer amount of text. You do also have a text box as well. So that will allow you to insert some text onto the document. But if we start with the note, you can see by default, again, you've got the yellow option. I'm probably going to make all of my notes fuchsia, if I'm honest. So once you have selected your color, click the note on your document and say, for example, I know that this company now has 6 staff. You can make a note on that. Perhaps if we're working on the assumption that you're marking up this document for feedback for one of your team members, and they might need to go in and update that information in Xero Practice Manager. So that's what we'll work with here. So we'll just make a little note here. Whoops, XPM. And then you just click out of the note, and so it will stay there, and when you hover over the note, then that will be visible. To delete a note, you can just click on the annotation and press the delete icon, or press delete, and then that will on your keyboard, and that will also remove that annotation from your document. So I'll pop one back on there. The text box. So if you select that, then you've got a whole bunch of formatting options here. So what you'll do is you can place your cursor and start typing. So let's just, for example, let's just say we want to change this logo. So you can select that text and make that smaller. You can make that red if you wanted to make that stand out a little bit more, and you can move it around on the document. You can resize the field. Again, let's just make that a little bit bigger, and that will just adjust accordingly. If you wanted to, you do have arrows as well, so you can be a bit more specific and get really creative with your markups on the document. In terms of the other functionality, you've also got the opacity. You can fill the text box as well with a background color. You can align the text if you needed to, so center or right align, as well as the vertical alignment. So you've got control over how that appears on the document. Finally, we have the shapes here. So for example, if you want to draw your colleagues' attention to a larger piece of text, so down the bottom here, all of these merge fields, which were coming through on my file template, they're not populating correctly. So these are all business fields, and the idea with these is that you can use them to populate your footer or your sort of the address portion of your letters with your company information. So I'm just going to mark that up here and put a text box, or I could put a note just saying that these business values need to be updated. in SuiteFiles. So if anyone's unclear on how they do that, then please do let me know in the comments, and I'll be happy to take you through that as part of today's webinar. So that's really it in terms of the annotation basics. With the annotations, we've also brought in a new way of previewing your PDFs. And so what you'll find is that you've got the ability to say, scroll through all of the pages in your document. I've just been looking at that one so far, but there's 2 pages here, so you can swap between them, particularly handy if you have a really large file, which I'm sure you guys will have. So you can also overtype the page number in the top here. So if you want to skip back to a specific page, just type that number in and press enter, or you can just use the scroll arrows here to get through. So few different ways that you can work and scroll and navigate through your documents using that little side panel pop out. And the most important thing is just when you have made some annotations, you might want to save those. So what you'll need to do is you'll need to either click the save or save and close button. So one of the little one thing that you will notice if you do try and navigate away from the screen, if you've made some annotations and you maybe click on the Recents tab, for example, you will get a little pop-up asking you or reminding you that you've got unsaved changes. So you'll need to click either save or save and close. So save will allow you to save those changes, but it will keep you in the PDF so you can keep on working on any annotations or review that you need to do. And if you're done with the document, you can click save and close, and that will revert it back to just this preview mode. So you can still view it, and those annotations will be saved. So you can even when you're in the preview mode, you can still hover over your notes to read those. So that's essentially it. I don't think I have missed anything. You'll probably have a few questions on it. So just note that we have currently just rolled this functionality out to those on our semi-suite plan. So that's the middle tier or subscription plan in SuiteFiles. So while you have you've got the annotate button, if you're on our super suite plan, so you'll be on super suite if you have access to things like document signing or SuiteFiles Connect, which is our client portal. So we haven't rolled out the annotator functionality to that plan yet. We are just working on a few little updates to document signing. So we're going to be rolling both those changes out together, and we're on track to do that in the next couple of weeks. So if you haven't got the annotation option in your site just yet, don't panic. It's likely that you're on Super Suite, and that is definitely coming soon. So Super Suite will have an edit button rather than an annotate button. The reason there is that we're going to be introducing a number of other features for that particular plan. So we'll be introducing things like the ability to merge documents together, delete pages, rearrange them. So that kind of full editing functionality that you would expect from a PDF editor. So Alison has asked, can you use the stamp function from Adobe, or do you plan to include this in the future? So it would be really cool to understand from you, Alison, what type of stamps you're looking to add, and then I can definitely follow that up with the product team. I know that when we were kind of looking at the functionality, we didn't include stamps, but it just depends on what you're looking to do. So perhaps it's a watermark. Perhaps maybe you could let me know in the chat or in the Q&A section, and that would be that I can pass that on. So not only do I want to know, I'll ask if we're going to be able to introduce stamps, but I do want to kind of get a little bit of clarification on exactly what type of stamps you're currently using, perhaps in your other software, and we can definitely take a look to see if we can introduce that in a future update. So definitely pass that on to the team. Okay, so in terms of the signing fields, I'm not sure that we will introduce a sign here, just because that functionality is all available through SuiteFiles document signing, but I can double check that with the team, and I can get back to you guys. Rochelle has also asked if you can change the order of the pages. So that functionality is not something that's going to be available as part of the annotations that we have available. So the annotation functionality on the semi-suite plan is going to give you the ability to mark up the document. When it comes to rearranging the document and doing all of those types of features, then that's going to be available in our super suite plan. And that's kind of on track for sort of early to mid-August. So if you are interested in trying those features out when they do become available, then feel free to just drop me a line. You can email me via our support email address, which is support@suitefiles.com, and we can certainly open up access for you to give that a go and see if that's up your alley and what you're after. Okay. Awesome. So Alison's provided a little bit more feedback around the types of stamps. So reviewed, approved, sign here, ticks and crosses, etc. So that's perfect. I will, that's really, really good. I'll pass that on to the team, and we'll certainly keep everyone posted as to whether or not we can sneak some of those features into the annotations in a future release. But that's really, really good to know. Thank you. And I think we've got a chat. The ability to insert a picture. Again, for the purposes of signing, anything to do with signing in a document in SuiteFiles, all of that functionality is included in the Super Suite plan. So one of those things that we can certainly chat about offline. You can reach out to me, and if you're wanting to give the signing a go, then we can certainly enable a trial for you. But I don't believe that we'll be allowing inserting image files at this stage, because with SuiteFiles signing, you can insert a digital signature. But I'll certainly ask the question, no harm in asking. So I can ask and get back to you on that as well. Beautiful. Well, let me know if anyone does have any other questions. I'm just, a lodged stamp. So yeah, stamps seem to be a really popular request here, so that's cool. I'll certainly follow that up. I'm not sure how flexible we can be in terms of the information that can be put on the stamps, but we'll have a look. I'll definitely ask the team and come back to you guys separately on that. So yes, as I said, we've got a lot of updates coming out. This is kind of the first phase of it. If anyone does have any feature request ideas, you can hopefully can see that the team is working really hard behind the scenes to bring you some awesome functionality here at SuiteFiles. If you do have any feature requests at all, then what I'll do on the follow-up email here is I will send you guys a link to our feature request form, because we'd love to hear how you're finding SuiteFiles currently, but also what you want to see from it in the future. So I'll pass on the feedback around these stamps, but if there's anything else that you do want to see in future, then feel free to let us know. We're definitely always keen to hear your feedback. So as promised, guys, it was a really quick one today. Any other questions, I'll keep things open for another few minutes, but hope you enjoy the rest of your day, guys. And please do give the annotator a go. And if you've got any other follow-up questions from me, you'll have my email address very soon when I send you the recording. But again, you can always reach out to us at support@suitefiles.com. And for those of you who don't know, we do have a help center. So the easiest way to access the help center is to click on your name in the top right corner, jump into the help center. What's new is really handy as well for everything that we're releasing. So you can check in on that from time to time. You can jump into the release notes, but everything will really be in order of when it's been released. So we've got the release notes here, and then we've got a separate article specific to those kind of larger updates. So we introduced PDF annotations. You can now include job merge fields for file templates. We made some XPM integration enhancements. So that's the little green icon that you can see as you're in your clients list. So yeah, have a look at the release notes, and they often will link out to further information on how exactly to use that functionality. Great. Well, hope you all enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for spending 20 minutes with me to learn more about the annotations, and look forward to seeing you again soon at a future webinar. Thanks so much, everyone.